Welcome to the Rwandan Vigilante, where we uncover truths hidden in Rwanda's shadows. Today we confront a chilling question: Rwanda's heroes or hunted? The Rwandan Patriotic Front, led by Paul Kagame, is celebrated for halting the 1994 genocide, a tragedy that claimed over 800,000 lives in just 100 days. But what happens when the RPF's own heroes, loyal insiders who helped rebuild a shattered nation, become its targets? From assassinations to forced exile, we'll explore what these men knew, why they fled, and how they met their fates. And we'll ask a deeper question: if this regime hunts its own for daring to disagree, what does it mean for those it never called its own? Join us for a gripping dive into Rwanda's darkest secrets, where loyalty turns to betrayal and heroes become prey. The Rwandan Patriotic Front, formed in 1987 by Tutsi exiles in Uganda, was born from decades of displacement. Tutsis, driven from Rwanda during the 1959 Hutu Revolution, grew up in refugee camps, dreaming of return. Leaders like Fred Gisa Rwigema, Patrick Karegeya, Seth Sendashonga, Kayumba Nyamwasa, and Peter Bayingana forged a brotherhood in this struggle. Rwigema, the RPF's charismatic founder, was a visionary who fought alongside Uganda's Yoweri Museveni before launching the RPF's 1990 invasion to reclaim Tutsi rights. Karegeya, head of intelligence from 1994 to 2004, was the keeper of Rwanda's secrets, navigating a web of espionage. Sendashonga, a Hutu moderate, served as interior minister, championing ethnic unity in a divided nation. Nyamwasa, the army chief, led military campaigns that secured Rwanda's borders, while Bayingana, a top commander, shaped early strategies. These men were Kagame's trusted allies, heroes of a nation reborn from the ashes of genocide, yet their loyalty couldn't shield them from becoming targets. What did they know that turned them from allies to enemies? Rwigema, killed in 1990, understood the RPF's ambitions and its internal rivalries. Historian Gerard Prunier, in his book The Rwanda Crisis, cites eyewitnesses claiming Rwigema was shot by his sub-commander Peter Bayingana over tactical disputes on day 2 of the RPF's invasion, not by enemy fire as Kigali's official narrative insists. Karegeya and Nyamwasa, as intelligence and military heads, were privy to alleged RPF atrocities. A 1999 Human Rights Watch report documents civilian killings in Rwanda and Congo during the RPF's campaigns, including massacres in refugee camps. Sendashonga, horrified by the 1995 Kibeho massacre, where thousands of Hutu civilians were killed, demanded accountability, clashing with Kagame's vision. Their insider knowledge about power struggles, military abuses, and the regime's tightening grip became a liability when they questioned Kagame's growing authoritarianism. Why did these heroes become hunted? Rwigema's death in 1990 at Nyabwenshogozi Hill shocked his followers. Officially, a stray bullet took his life, but Prunier's sources suggest Bayingana's involvement, followed by Bayingana's own death in Ryabega, also officially in combat. A 2020 article from an RPF critical outlet, The Rwandan, alleges both Rwigema and Bayingana, alongside Commander Chris Bunyanyezi, were executed by RPF forces to silence internal dissent, though Kigali denies this. By the 2000s, the pattern was undeniable. Patrick Karegeya, jailed for insubordination in 2004, fled to South Africa in 2007 after a friend warned he'd be killed in Kigali. Kayumba Nyamwasa, accused of disloyalty, escaped to South Africa in 2010, surviving multiple assassination attempts, including a 2010 shooting in Johannesburg. Seth Sendashonga, after resigning over Kibeho, fled to Kenya in 1996, where he continued criticizing the regime. David Himbara, Kagame's former economic advisor, told The Guardian in 2019 that Rwanda had become an absolute monarchy, forcing him to seek safety in Canada. Theogene Rudasingwa, ex-RPF Secretary General, fled to the US, accusing Kagame of triggering the 1994 genocide by downing President Habyarimana's plane, a claim Rwanda's government vehemently denies. These men didn't just leave, they ran for their lives, haunted by the secrets they carried. Their fates are a grim testament to the cost of dissent. On New Year's Eve 2013, Patrick Karegeya was found strangled in a Johannesburg hotel, a rope and bloody towel stuffed in the room's safe. South Africa's Hawks unit, in a 2019 inquest, linked his murder to Rwandan agents, issuing arrest warrants for 2 suspects who fled. Kagame, in a 2014 speech, issued a chilling warning: whoever betrays Rwanda will pay the price. A 2015 U.S. congressional testimony revealed Rwanda offered $1 million to kill Karegeya and Nyamwasa. Seth Sendashonga was gunned down in Nairobi in 1998 after surviving an earlier attempt in 1996. Michaela Wrong's book, Do Not Disturb, recounts Karegeya's 2011 meeting with Sendashonga's widow Tsiriake, where he lamented that Sendashonga's dream of ethnic reconciliation could have transformed Rwanda. Fred Rwigema's death remains shrouded in mystery, with his family rejecting Kigali's account. Journalist John Leonard Rugambage was shot dead in Kigali in 2010, days after exposing an attempt on Nyamwasa's life. Theogene Turatsinze, former head of Rwanda Development Bank, was found dead in a Maputo river in 2012, allegedly with a list of secret government payments. In 2021, Revocant Karamanjingo, a Rwandan refugee, was killed in Mozambique, one of several cases prompting outcry from refugee communities, as noted by activist Cleophas Habiyaremye. Fred Rwigema's legacy looms large, yet even his family lives in the regime's shadow. His son, Eric Gisa Jr., remains in exile, primarily in the U.S., refusing to return despite Kagame's public appeals. A 2021 Chronicles report describes Kagame urging Rwigema's widow, Jeanette, at their daughter Teta's wedding in Kigali, to convince Eric to come home, calling Rwanda his father's fought-for land. Eric's refusal stems from fears of retribution, given the regime's history of targeting dissenters' families. Jeanette visited her husband's grave on Heroes' Day with her daughter after officials had left. A quiet act some interpret as a sign the RPF undervalues Rwigema's family despite his status as a national hero. If even the founder's family fears the regime, who is safe? Rwanda's official narrative paints the RPF as liberators, with Kagame as the architect of an African miracle. Kigali's gleaming skyline, economic growth and stability are touted as proof. Yet the RPF's darker side emerges in the fates of its former heroes. A 2014 Human Rights Watch report documented 10 cases of RPF critics killed or abducted abroad, from Europe to Africa. South Africa's arrest warrants for Karegeya's killers strain ties with Kigali, while Mozambique's refugee community demands justice for killings like Karamanjingo's. The regime's reach extends beyond its borders, targeting anyone who challenges its narrative. Hutu refugees in Uganda face arrests and killings, per a 2010 BBC report. Opposition leader Victoire Ingabire told DW in 2020 that Rwanda's political space is suffocating. Journalists and activists face harassment, imprisonment, or worse. Diane Rwigara faced trumped-up charges in 2017 after challenging Kagame's presidency. If the RPF hunts its own, what fate awaits those never in its fold? The regime's message is clear: dissent has a price, whether you're a hero, critic, or ordinary citizen. This is the Rwandan vigilante. Were these men heroes betrayed or threats to a fragile nation? If a regime silences its own architects, what hope is there for others, minorities, journalists, or everyday Rwandans seeking truth? We invite you to reflect on Rwanda's past and present. Dig into the sources we've cited, like Michaela Wrong's Do Not Disturb or Human Rights Watch reports, to uncover more. Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you heard stories from Rwanda's diaspora, or witnessed its changes firsthand? Subscribe to join our mission to expose hidden truths. If you have tips, reach out securely via our channel's encrypted contact linked below. Together, let's shine a light on Rwanda's shadows and keep the stories of its hunted heroes alive. Stay vigilant.